Vanished empire beneath the waves. Long ago in ancient Athens, a philosopher sat quietly in his garden, stylus in hand, and with a few deliberate strokes, he unknowingly birthed a mystery that would outlive empires. When Plato introduced the story of Atlantis in his dialogues around 360 BCE, he ignited a global enigma that has fascinated historians, researchers, and dreamers for over 2,000 years. The debate isn't simply whether this sunken civilization truly existed. It is why Plato described it with astonishing precision instead of vague legend. In his works Timaeus and Critias, Plato did not speak like a storyteller inventing fantasy. He provided specific details and measurements. He wrote that Atlantis was larger than Libya and Asia combined, and that its capital city measured 50 stadia across. 3 perfect concentric rings of water encircled a magnificent palace. The outer walls were plated with bronze, the second ring with tin, and the inner sanctum with orichalcum, a blazing metallic alloy said to shine like fire in the sun. Plato even dated the civilization precisely 9,000 years before his time. This mighty maritime kingdom dominated the known world until arrogance brought about divine destruction. For centuries, scholars dismissed Plato's account as symbolism, a moral warning about the fall of corrupt societies. But that belief began to crack when archaeologists uncovered real civilizations that matched parts of Plato's description and should not have existed according to history. The discovery of the Minoan civilization on Crete in 1900 changed everything. This was a Bronze Age empire with advanced architecture, drainage systems, multi-story buildings, and a complex cultural structure. They were expert seafarers who ruled Mediterranean trade routes, and then disappeared suddenly around 1450 BCE. In 1939, Greek archaeologist Spyridon Marinatos proposed that the Minoans were destroyed by the cataclysmic eruption of Thera, a volcanic island now known as Santorini. The blast, 4 times stronger than Krakatoa, shattered the island, sent tsunamis racing across the Mediterranean, and choked the sky with volcanic ash. Suddenly, Plato's catastrophic Atlantis story didn't seem so impossible. But there was a problem. The timeline didn't match. Plato said Atlantis fell 9,000 years before his time, yet the Minoans vanished only 1,000 years before he lived. Was Plato exaggerating? Was 9,000 really 900? Misinterpreted by translation? Or was Atlantis still elsewhere? Then, in 1967, excavations at Acrotiri on Santorini revealed something astonishing. A Bronze Age city frozen in time beneath layers of ash like a Greek Pompeii. It had freshwater systems, elaborate art, and advanced urban planning. Most intriguing of all, it was built in a ringed harbor layout, eerily similar to Plato's description of Atlantis. But not a single body was found. The people vanished before disaster struck, as if they had warning and escaped. But where did they go? Plato claimed the tale came from Solon, the great Athenian lawmaker, who heard it from Egyptian priests in the city of Say. Those priests supposedly had records describing a mighty seafaring culture destroyed by floods and earthquakes. Egyptian records do mention mysterious invaders known as the Sea Peoples, who suddenly appeared, wreaked havoc across the Mediterranean, then disappeared without a trace. But no independent Egyptian document ever mentions Atlantis by name, and the temple in Say that held these records has never been found. The mystery grew deeper as geologists began detecting submerged ruins and unnatural underwater structures around the world. The Bimini Road in the Bahamas still puzzles researchers with its massive geometric stone blocks. Sonar mapping has exposed sunken formations near Cyprus, Spain, Japan, and even Antarctica. The real challenge now isn't finding Atlantis. It's that there are too many places it could be. Some believe it lies beneath the Black Sea, which was once a freshwater lake until the Mediterranean Sea burst through the Bosporus around 7,500 years ago, drowning entire settlements. Others argue it lies under the Persian Gulf, which was habitable land during the Ice Age. Some even suggest Doggerland, a sunken region that once connected Britain to Europe. But what cannot be ignored is this: ancient flood stories exist in nearly every culture on Earth. The Epic of Gilgamesh from Sumer, the story of Dwarka from ancient India, Native American tales of cities swallowed by the Pacific, and yes, even the story of Noah, all speak of advanced civilizations destroyed by water. Maybe Atlantis was not a single place, but many, a collection of lost cultures erased by ancient cataclysms and forgotten time. Perhaps Plato blended multiple historical memories into one story, a warning to the future disguised as a tale of the past. Whatever the truth, the ocean still keeps its secrets. Sea levels were 400 feet lower during the last ice age, meaning entire cities now lie beneath the waves. Untouched and waiting, we are only beginning to explore them. The legend of Atlantis lives on because it feels like a memory, not a myth. A reminder that no matter how powerful a civilization becomes, it can vanish. Just like Atlantis did, swallowed not only by the sea, but by silence. The Enigma of the Unreadable Codex. There exists a manuscript so bewildering that it has defeated everyone who has ever tried to unravel it. It has brought elite codebreakers to their knees, left artificial intelligence in confusion, and turned centuries of academic investigation into a maze of unanswered questions. This artifact is known today as the Voynich manuscript, a document that stands as perhaps the most unsolvable mystery in the history of written language. This medieval volume, believed to date back to the early 15th century, is written in a script found nowhere else on Earth, filled with strange illustrations that drift between natural realism and pure impossibility. There is no translation key, no parallel language, nothing that helps decode its purpose. It contains 240 vellum pages of carefully inked symbols that seem to mock all attempts at interpretation. The manuscript entered recorded history in 1912, when rare book dealer Wilfrid Voynich acquired it from a cache of manuscripts at the Jesuit Collegio Romano. He claimed it came from Villa Mondragone in Italy, though how it got there remains uncertain. What he discovered was an ancient codex, bound in medieval style, written in a smooth flowing alphabet unmatched in any known linguistic tradition. The script defies categorization. It consists of around 170,000 characters, forming 35,000 words, using between 20 to 30 distinct symbols. The handwriting appears natural, as though the author was fluent in the language, yet that language is unlike anything humans have seen. Mathematical analysis reveals patterns similar to real languages, with structured word frequency and consistent entropy. But paradoxically, it is too perfect, too controlled. Real languages contain irregularities. This one does not. It feels like a language, but may not be one. Then come the illustrations, each more mysterious than the last. The botanical drawings depict plants that seem familiar yet impossible. Leaves coil in unnatural spirals, roots form geometric structures, and blossoms appear as hybrids of flowers that could never exist in nature. Botanists have searched for correspondences for decades. None have been found. The astronomical diagrams are equally confounding. Circular star charts display zodiac-like symbols, but none match any known astronomy. Suns, moons, and cosmic spheres float in patterns that suggest hidden celestial knowledge, but no scholar can read their intent. Most unsettling of all are the biological illustrations. Pages show naked women immersed in bizarre tube networks and pools of colored liquid. These figures are connected by strange channels, as though undergoing scientific or ritual procedures. Some believe these scenes depict an unknown medical process, others say alchemy, and some see something far darker. The women appear calm, almost peaceful, yet the imagery feels disturbingly ritualistic, like a process of transformation. Scientific testing removed all doubt of forgery. Carbon dating places the manuscript's origin between 1404 and 1438. The calfskin vellum is genuine. The ink is consistent with medieval writing materials. It is unquestionably authentic. But is it meaningful, or an elaborate medieval deception? Over the years, world-famous cryptographers have tried, and failed, to decode it. William F. Friedman, the legendary codebreaker who cracked Japanese encryption in World War II, spent years studying it. He made no progress. Modern cryptologists have thrown everything at it. Linguistic analysis, statistical modeling, machine learning, AI pattern detection. Yet every method collapses into absurdity. The structure looks logical. Sentences and paragraphs appear to exist. Some symbols behave like vowels. Others behave like consonants. But every proposed translation turns to nonsense. Experts in Asian, Semitic, and Indo-European languages have examined it. None can find any link to known human speech. One theory argues the text is written in a lost constructed language, an artificial tongue invented by a medieval scholar, perhaps to safeguard secret knowledge in alchemy, herbal medicine, or esoteric philosophy. Another camp claims it is a hoax, but if so, it is the most complex and time-consuming hoax in medieval history, requiring extraordinary dedication and consistency. For what purpose? The manuscript's possible owners deepen the mystery. Records suggest it may once have been bought by Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II, a collector of occult artifacts. It has been linked to John Dee, the mystic advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, and his associate Edward Kelly. Some even argued it was written by Roger Bacon, the English philosopher, but that theory has been largely dismissed. Hundreds of theories are presented every year at academic conferences. New technologies like quantum computing, advanced neural networks, and optical language modeling have all been unleashed upon the manuscript. Nothing works. Every attempt ends in silence. 600 years have passed, and still the book keeps its secrets. It speaks in a voice no one understands, describes a world no one can identify, and hides knowledge no one can reach. The Voynich manuscript does not just resist interpretation, it defies human understanding itself. It waits, as it always has, for the one mind capable of hearing the message no one else can.